Picture this in your mind. A lone figure standing on the edge of a cliff at dusk. The sky is bruised purple, the wind howls like a wounded animal, and the ocean below churns like it wants to swallow the world whole. Lightning flashes. For a split second, the man's face is illuminated, tired, worn, haunted. In his hands, he grips a rope. Not just any rope, but a symbol of everything he refuses to release. A relationship that no longer loves him back. A dream that died long ago. A mistake he can't forgive himself for. A fear that controls every breath he takes. His fingers tremble. The rope digs into his palms. He's holding on so tightly that the cord is carving into his skin. A physical reminder of a truth he's been refusing to face. Sometimes the things we cling to are the very things destroying us. The wind screams, the ocean surges, the storm around him grows violent, but the storm inside him is worse. Every thought battles against him. What if I lose everything? What if I regret letting go? What if this is all I have left? And then, a quieter thought emerges, small, gentle, almost whispering. What if letting go is the only way to survive? His breath catches. His heart slows. For the first time, the noise inside him begins to fade, because the truth hits him like cold rain. It isn't the rope that's hurting him. It's his refusal to release it. This is where the Stoic path truly begins. Not when life is easy, not when the sun is shining, but in the worst, darkest moments when everything in you wants to cling tighter. The Stoics understood something we forget. Suffering comes from attachment, not reality. Fear comes from clinging, not from life. Pain intensifies when we refuse to let go. The man looks at the rope one last time, and a terrifying, liberating realization rises in him. What I fear losing was never fully mine. And the moment he accepts that, everything begins to change. The storm fades, the waves quiet. The rope hangs loosely in the man's hands, and for the first time, he hears something he's never noticed before. Silence, stillness, truth. Because in that moment, between holding on and letting go, he discovers the Stoic law that has guided warriors, emperors, and philosophers for over 2,000 years. You suffer not because life is hard, but because you cling to what you cannot control. This is the heart of Stoic detachment, not coldness, not numbness, not apathy, but clarity. The kind of clarity that slices through confusion like a blade. The kind that burns away illusions like fire. Think about it. You don't suffer because a person left. You suffer because you can't accept that they were always free to walk away. You don't suffer because plans changed. You suffer because you refuse to let go of how things should have been. You don't suffer because life is unpredictable. You suffer because you demand certainty in a world where nothing is ever guaranteed. The Stoics called this the discipline of desire. A brutal, honest philosophy built on one idea. Attach only to what you can control. Detach from everything else. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his journal, the journal no one was ever meant to see. If it is beyond your control, let it go. It was never yours to begin with. Seneca said it even more directly. He who is attached shall be dragged. Dragged by fear. Dragged by expectations, dragged by disappointment, dragged by the unpredictable nature of life. Epictetus, the former slave turned philosopher, taught detachment with a clarity that still shakes the modern world. You are not upset by events, but by the grip you have on them. The man on the cliff realizes this for the very first time. He has spent years trying to control outcomes, trying to hold on to people, trying to force life to go according to his script. But the Stoics reveal a truth most people never dare to understand. Control is an illusion. Attachment is a prison. Detachment is freedom. Not freedom from caring, but freedom from breaking when things don't go your way. Not freedom from emotion, but freedom from being enslaved by emotion. Not freedom from life, but freedom from the lies you tell yourself about life. The man closes his eyes. A calm breath fills his lungs, because the truth is no longer frightening. For the first time, he sees it clearly. Detachment is not losing anything. It is the moment you stop losing yourself. Most people hear the word detachment and imagine someone cold, emotionless, unreachable. But Stoic detachment isn't the absence of emotion. It's the mastery of emotion. It isn't about feeling less. It's about not letting your feelings control your life. Stoic detachment means this: you can love deeply, without clinging. You can care fiercely, without losing yourself. You can give your best, without fearing the outcome. That is real strength, not pushing people away, not building walls around your heart, but remaining centered even when the world tries to pull you apart. Imagine the man on the cliff once again. He finally loosens his grip on the rope. He lets it dangle, and something remarkable happens. The weight he's been carrying, the weight he thought was tied to the rope, falls from his shoulders instead. Why? Because the attachment was never to the rope. The attachment was to an idea, a fantasy of how things were supposed to be, a story he forced himself to believe, a future he tried to control. The Stoics teach us a powerful truth. The world does not break you, your expectations do. When you detach, you stop demanding that life behave a certain way. You stop assuming people owe you consistency, loyalty, or permanence. You stop tying your happiness to external events that shift like shadows. Instead, you anchor your peace inside yourself. Seneca wrote, "He who is wise is content with his present condition, whatever it may be." Why? Because contentment built on external things collapses the moment those things disappear. But contentment built on inner stability, on discipline, on clarity, that cannot be taken by anyone. Detachment means you don't break when someone leaves. You don't collapse when plans fail. You don't drown in disappointment. You bend, you breathe, and you remain. Because your peace is no longer tied to outcomes. It is tied to who you have become. The man on the cliff realizes this breathtaking truth. He is not letting go of the rope. He is letting go of the story that was killing him. And in that moment, he doesn't feel empty. He feels free. The man stands on the cliff, the rope finally slipping from his hands. It falls, slowly, softly, until the wind carries it away into the storm. And in that moment, something inside him breaks, but not in the way he feared. What breaks is the cage he built around himself, because letting go is not the end. It is the beginning. The world around him hasn't changed. The ocean still roars. The sky still rumbles. The wind still claws at his clothes. But he has changed. For the first time in years, he isn't fighting reality. He isn't begging life to rewind. He isn't gripping so tightly that he bleeds. He is simply here, present, untangled, free. This is what the Stoics meant by true detachment. The ability to walk through chaos without losing your center. The ability to face loss without losing your identity. The ability to fail without calling yourself a failure. Detachment doesn't make life easier. It makes you stronger. It doesn't remove obstacles. It removes the belief that you can't survive them. It doesn't erase emotions. It frees you from being ruled by them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been." This is the Stoic superpower. Your interpretation creates your suffering. Your detachment dissolves it. The man feels a strange sensation rising within him. Not joy, not excitement, but something far deeper. Relief, strength, peace. Because for the first time he understands. He does not need the world to be predictable. He does not need people to stay. He does not need outcomes to align perfectly. He only needs control over himself. That is the core of Stoic detachment. You stop trying to own the world, and you reclaim ownership of your mind. The man takes a breath, deep, slow, calm. And as the storm finally begins to fade, he realizes something profound. He did not lose anything. He simply returned to himself. He walks away from the cliff, lighter, clearer, stronger, knowing what the Stoics knew all along. When you let go of what chains you, you rise. So remember this: life will always pull, twist, and test you. But nothing, not loss, not failure, not chaos, has the power to break you unless you hold on too tightly. Detachment is not running away. It is returning to your true self, the self that cannot be shaken. If this message spoke to you, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom. Drop a comment below and tell me, what do you need to let go of? Stay disciplined, stay calm, and as always, stay stoic.